Welcome back, dear friends, to the Valorant Champions Tour Close Qualifier. I'm Esports Doug, with me the yin to my yang with the steeliest blue eyes in the game. It's Lex. Lex, we saw map 1, we saw NRG look good, and then we saw Gen.G say, this is our map. What was a big takeaway for you from Bind?
I'm still not a believer in Yoru, Doug. And I think
You're
it'll take a few
You're
events. I know. But it'll take a few events before players really can kind of grasp the depth at which you can play him. Same one for Sky, man. I think if you're not being efficient with your utility, if you're not willing to use it and kind of bully teams around the map, which on the attack side, NRG struggled doing that. So, and I think Shanks, played a fabulous defensive half, but when NRG's coming up blanks, when we're talking about taking map control, fighting for showers, or, everything that we discussed throughout that broadcast, man, there was a lot of opportunities, I think, for NRG to find success, and they couldn't quite get there. So Gen.G woke up early on in that first half. I say early on, it's about halfway through, like 6 rounds in before they won a round. So forget that.
Better late than never.
Yeah, I mean, once they started going though, once the wheels started turning, things started clicking for Gen.G, it really seemed like it was a pretty one-sided affair outside of a few rounds that where NRG went huge.
Yeah, Gen.G was clicking, baby. They were clicking, and they look good in a lot of different ways. So we'll see if they can carry that momentum into the next map, which is going to be Haven. Again, as I mentioned early on, for Gen.G, life has been 2 flavors, right? It's been vanilla and it's been chocolate, and that's it. Right? As far as map goes, it's been Bind and it's been Haven. Bind, Haven, Bind, Haven. And so far, Gen.G's getting exactly what they wanted. They showed they can reckon with NRG on Bind, but can they do so on Haven? The concerning thing here for NRG is that their track record isn't as pretty on Haven, right? They're 3-3 here as opposed to 3-1 on Bind, so certainly not the same results that we would potentially be seeing otherwise. Gen.G is also going to start on the defensive side. So if you're NRG here, what's a good half for you, Lex? Knowing you drop map 1, knowing you're going to start on the attacking side, you have so much room to work with due to the nature of the 3 sites on Haven. What's a comfortable half for you?
I don't even know here. Like, this is the thing about Haven that, from a fan standpoint, like, I feel like this is one of the most random maps in the game. And I don't mean that like as a negative term necessarily. It's just for NRG coming out, I mean, you're talking about coming off a map loss, you don't have the momentum. Maybe you're feeling bad because you didn't play as well as you thought you should as an individual. Like, I think for NRG, like, you want a dominant half, right? Like, you want to come out 7-5, 8-4 and feel comfortable, because you got to stretch it at this point out to 3 maps. And if you're NRG, there is some hope there, not because necessarily they're Icebox All-Stars or whatever, but as you mentioned, Bind Haven as the lifestyle choices for as far as NRG goes, rather, or Gen.G goes. Like, this is potentially a great map 3 for NRG. So I think, when we're weighing whether or not, okay, Shanks is on the Jet. If you have your op in play, if you're finding success with Shanks here on this map, I think they can absolutely take it. But I don't know if I could give you a round count where I'd be comfortable. Like, this is going to be a long battle that needs to be grinded out round after round, because there's no clear advantage here in skill between these 2 teams, I don't believe. Like, they're both fantastically stacked rosters, but I don't think they're like worlds away from each other, right? So I don't know, man. We'll see.
I think Gen.G certainly impressed on Bind, and now again we'll have to see if they can carry that momentum into Haven. We talk about the 3 sites and how that just gives so much versatility for the attacking side. I had a great conversation with Shinobi about this a couple days ago. The map kind of forces defending teams to play retakes on almost every site, right? Like, you're not going to have the numbers advantage unless you just happen to gamble 5-stack something on A or something like that, and that happens to be where they're pushing into. It's hard on the defending side.
Right, and some teams approach it a little differently. Sometimes the workflow goes from making contact, and here it is at long A, and then falling back to the links. But Sam with the running frenzy at range finds the opener. And
oh my gosh, it's another banger of a pistol round. They got the first pick, and then they paranoia. They fully send through a short. EU gets 3 on the round. Holy smokes. That was madness. That was chaos.
That is the frenzy meta, baby, right there. Just we're gonna send 5 guys at your 5 guys, and we're gonna. You think they like in team chat, Doug, at the beginning of the round, agreed to just like, yo, let's play today. All right, see you guys there. Bye, frenzies. See you later. Like that was absolutely. I mean, the last pistol on bind was the same thing, where brain off, frenzy out. Let's go, right? Like let's just send it. And you know what? From a caster's perspective, I don't need to analyze anything here. That was fun to watch. It's just like throwing bodies at the problem, hoping it works.
All right. Oh my gosh. EU just got a bunch of info. He hears the footsteps of everyone freaking stampeding their way down C. They're back off. The spike still hasn't made its way onto A, but EU with the flank able to get one. Win trades it out with the frenzy. No less. But the spike is going to make its way onto A. It should get in there with 0 contest. And folks, the map is flipped. The defending team's back in the attacking side spawn.
Yeah, they're going to need to run an execute here to retake. But as far as Gen.G goes, like, this is already a little bit of a success, right? You've gotten it was a Phantom or Spectre. Doesn't matter. You've gotten a weapon out of the hands of NRG. It is a Phantom, actually. Okay. So that is, hats off to the observers. But that's I don't want to call it a huge success, but certainly this is weaponry you're taking away from NRG. You're saving it into the next round and giving yourself an opportunity to potentially play for the eco, force up the next one. And you know, for NRG, that's kind of a big loss as well.
Last player
I mean,
standing. Not
just the fact that it's a Phantom, but economically speaking, especially when you're losing 2 weapons here, almost a third actually. So they managed to keep 3 alive. Not a whole lot to feel bad about, but that Phantom loss is certainly a. They did recover it. Never mind. Could have been worse.
Well, yeah, but I think you're right. Like even losing that Phantom early on, Gen.G had a chance. But NRG they managed to handle that loss early on just fine as they take the second round away. But now it's on Gen.G to show us something. I think the interesting thing is, while NRG did lose a couple of rifles, so they're not going to be riding a full bonus, they have rifles to fight back with Gen.G's firepower here.
Right. And I think this is honestly even scarier on the defender side, or on the attacking side rather, when you have a mixed buy and you know, okay, this isn't really a bonus anymore, but we can't buy in 5 rifles, and it wouldn't be smart to do so anyway. So if you lose here, I mean, as you're saying, Doug, like this is a real chance for NRG to basically have their economy tanked very early on in this game, and that's what happens when you get greedy on second round buys. I feel like I yell at a ranked teammate every single time I play this game because they're buying Phantoms and Vandals on the second round. And,
well, hang on.
This is why, Doug, right there.
Every ranked teammate knows how to play the game. All right, let's. I
don't know, man. I don't know.
I couldn't stick with it. I tried, but I couldn't keep a straight face. NRG have managed to take the spike all the way up A long. They have a couple of members just on the cusp. Gen.G, again, like we talked about, they kind of
Yeah, and I watched a Gen.G VOD of them playing on Haven last night, and I was impressed with Kusta's play at A here. And already he's finding more success. Okay, as I say that, the A site is capitulating, and the post plan is so successful that we're down to a one-on-one, Doug.
Oh.
Man, I just talked through a really sick, I think, 2v4. Like, that was almost a 2v5 wipe instantly. Som closes it out in the final seconds. 3-0. NRG survives what could have potentially been a disastrous round.
Yeah, it really could have, because, you know, we talked about it. Infinite was on the flank, but his teammate was dropping all over the site, and it was Kusta who was up in heaven, had been there really the entire time and hadn't been contested, and then freaking EU and Som just pop off and get all the kills that they need to equalize things. It looked dicey, but NRG managed to pull that one off. We talked about the economical implications of that, and so far, Gen.G doesn't seem to care. Sean with an opener on the Sheriff already.
That's always fun. There are some... I think this is kind of like, as we're talking about, as we were earlier, speaking about weapon balance, whatever. The Sheriff is one of those weapons in this game where in the right hands, you just terrifying. Sean opening things up immediately with a hot headshot.
Yeah, it's an 800 credit op in the hands of some folks. But okay, real quick, I want to bring attention to this. Look at how NRG have played this. They get the spike down back C, so there are a few things at play. Number one, they have an open sight line from C long, so they can just spam their way into it regardless of what utility's in front of them. And the Hunter's Fury is there as well to see how it's going to be equalized. Mikhail goes first. It's traded back out by EU as he's trying to fend things off. They managed to get it to halftime. The run it back was used as well. NRG just down to 2 members left, but they're trying to fight back. Gen.G goes deep, goes all the way in, and they manage to break the hold. They get the sight back, and they get the defuse. What a round from Gen.G!
Wow. And finally, this post-plant scenario where I was singing its praises just a moment ago when Sam clutched out that round, but Gen.G looked fierce, man. Like, they look really confident coming into these retakes against NRG, and, we're talking about how many rounds are you comfortable with on your attacking side of Haven. Well, they've got their 3 here. But I think you're going to want to, get as many as 7 or 8 here, of course. But I don't know if Gen.G is going to allow that. Like, that was a very clean retake. They have a little bit of a bank building up. The buy from NRG here isn't great, Doug. And already you run it back into Garage here.
All right, remind me, we need to go back to that round to talk about some stuff. But for now, Sam, with the run it back, gets 1. It's already an efficient ultimate. Shanks gets 1 as well with the Blade Storm. Infinite piles it on as Gen.G is just down to 2 members left. They're on opposite sides of the map. They're going to try to get a pinch in, but NRG again showing proficiency regardless of the weaponry at hand as they get onto C, as they get the spike down, and as they control the site.
Infinite is having one heck of a game here, and man, as I was singing the praises of Gen.G, once again, NRG reminds me that they are absolutely not out of this series yet, and certainly they don't have any intentions of losing this map, but gotta wonder, that was a very quick reaction. They lost the round, they immediately called this C-split. There was no hesitation. Sam ran up garage doors, popped his ultimate, ran it back through garage, and found the entry. And Gen.G really wasn't giving it the due respect that it probably deserved. And I don't mean that like, oh, they were challenging the ultimate outright. It wasn't as though that was a free kill that they were trying to hand away. But Sam was able to just get up in that, C bomb side or C spike side immediately. Maybe 20 seconds into the round, they already had a pick. So NRG doing a fabulous job of answering back with confidence of their own.
Yeah, they look good. They're going to have full rifles here. Gen.G's going to be able to respond in kind. An op in the hands of Win. We've talked about how he's honestly, in my opinion, a bit underappreciated. He's so good with the op. He's so good in Jed. And again, it's because he's an anchor, right? Like, he locks things down. He's able to take away lanes from the attacking side.
Yeah. And I think, when it comes to Jet operators in general, after the latest operator nerfs, there's definitely been a, I'll say to some degree, a lack of dominant op play. Yep. Where, some teams still have that in their lineup with mixed success, and some teams really struggle on some maps with it. But Win, as you said, I mean, he's a fabulous Jet player to begin with. So when he does find his groove, he's just so scary. Right there immediately taking the head off of Infinite. Operator pick comes in big. Gen.G poised to retake a 5-on-4 with the spike going down at C. That's off a dash.
Yes, yes, freaking A, I love that. He gets the opening pick. He pulls off, but he knows exactly where that default spite is. The From the Shadows was used to get him onto the backside. Again, they've planted there 3 times now, so he's just able to bang through the box and get another pick with the operator. Win played that so well. NRG's just down to 2 members left.
Yeah, and that was just so well played. You called it, Doug. Man, you set that round up so perfectly for Win to pop off, and there's 3, his third onto Sam. That closes it out. He'll get that spike defuse as well. And 4-2, don't forget the spike, guys. But 4-2, this is still a good-looking half from Gen.G, despite the fact that they may have dropped around that they shouldn't have. Like, this is scary now. You have the operator in the hands of Win, and not only is it in his hands, but he's feeling it, right? Like, that was very well played, as you said. Taking that pick over the top of the smoke, falling back off of the spike site, being able to have the presence of mind to be like, hey, need to wait for my teammates to get here, but while I might as well take a shot through this box, see if I can get the planner, and, well, he did. He's sitting at the top of the scoreboard at 8-3, and Sam, who I at the beginning of that round, I think, spoke as somebody who finding his confidence and is looking scary on this Phoenix. They're gonna need to hit, him to continue heating up as this round, this half progresses.
Onto A. Nice reaction from Sean, able to get one. But NRG walks away from that trade with the numbers advantage. The neural theft is going to be used as well. Mikhail's the last one on the site. And instead of backing off and waiting for a little bit of help. Oh my gosh, well, why do you need help when you're able to get two? That's going to delay the push at least long enough and remove some of the numbers away to equalize things as members of Gen.G arrive on the site.
That was Michael just cranking a 90 into a headshot, just destroying somebody that really thought he had a free kill. I'm not sure that was, but Michael with a huge shot. Now it's a 2-on-2. Gen.G poised to retake. Kusta on the prowl pushes in. It's tagged by a camera, Doug, but Sam curveball comes through the dark cover and almost gets both, but Kusta survives. 1-on-1 now. Cypher versus Cypher. Yeah, 9 bullets left in the magazine. And Kusta, neural theft goes out, but Infinite, wise to it, is holding the angle. Ever aware that Kusta has to push him in that scenario, and certainly there was not enough time for Kusta to just stick it, so well played by NRG to get their 5th, Doug.
All right, I got to tell you, as a commentator, there are few things I love more than a 1v1 situation like that, where do you tap it? Do you stick it? What's the other guy thinking? As a player, I'm sure it feels terrible because it's a 50-50, right? Like, you're guessing. Did he tap it and did he pull off? Is he sticking it? Do I wait 3.5 seconds and then swing? So many decisions are made in the moment that can honestly go either way. Fortunately there, that went in favor of NRG.
You're absolutely right, but I'll save it for a podcast, Doug. I could talk for hours about what goes through players' heads in those situations and why some players opt to stick. Oh, man. And right there, like, I don't know what Kusta could have done. That was a really tough spot, like you said, where you either hit your shot against Infinite Man or it's all but done. And Win, who's so aggressive up here at long A, paired up with Michael, that Hunter's Fury through that short A wall, yields great success. 5v4 now, a free one going the way of Gen.G, costing them just the ultimate of Sova. So, going back to what I'm saying, I think these teams play each other a lot. These players have played each other quite a bit throughout their careers. You get a feel for how players like to play, and in that instance, I got to imagine Infinite was very confident. He had the round already locked up. Right here's, we've seen this before, Doug. They'll run it back at a garage, see whether or not it yields anything against the likes of the defense of Gen.G.
Oh, it didn't have nearly the same bang that it had the first time around, and it got traded as Sean used his own. Kusta was still on the back of the site. He gets one before dropping. NRG and Gen.G tied up here at 3 pieces. Sam is going to get the spike down. And you imagine, without a Hunter's Fury here, they're not deciding to fully pull off or do anything like that. They want to stay close to the site, force Gen.G to push into them, and that's exactly what they do. Win gets another one with the op. NRG's just down to Shanks. He's going to get banked through that wall. A 3K for Mikhail. Gen.G looking good as they get the defuse. They're keeping this thing close, and again, they're doing it on the defensive side.
That was a clean retake, and honestly, we're going back and forth. Like, this is a slugfest at this point, Doug. Like, that round, we've had a few of them like that, but certainly every frag is getting traded. Every time you're pushing into a bomb site, it seems like there's even numbers. And right there, NRG I think is doing a fair job of maneuvering around Haven, making sure that they're not going into any massive stacks. But right there was 2 players. I mean, they were basically prepared for NRG to be pushing up onto that site and taking it, and obviously it panned out. Grabbing their 3rd round on defense, where typically I think this map is regarded by, in competition at least, an attacker-sided map, of course. But Win, who you highlighted, man, early on in this game, that threat of his operator, even though this is an eco, like, this is just so annoying to deal with. And Infinite falls as well, man.
There's just nothing is safe, right? Like, there's nowhere you can go. And what I love about it is we saw him see long, we saw him hold B. Now, it is more common as he gets 3. Yeah, give the guy the ace at this point. He's earned it. On an eco, right, for the attacking team, it's more common to play. Ooh.
Cleaned up.
Yeah, that was pretty. So sorry. On an eco, it's common for the attacking team to play B, right? Because it naturally has a lot of entry points. It's a bit of a chaotic spot, and they're a close angle. So you take away some of the advantage that a rifle has over an SMG in a situation like that. So it could be that that's why Win was playing that spot. But regardless, the matter of the truth of the matter is he's not just holding down one lane and letting NRG think, all right, we can't go C long because Win is opping there. Let's go A long. Well, surprise, he's there too. He's been reading NRG really well.
Yeah, and that's the ever-present threat of a confident Jet operator is, you know, if he's doing his job properly, he's changing his spot up consistently, showing presence at one point on the map, moving so that any utility used against him is useless and wasted. So NRG's answer right now, and I think this is the right one, is to just pick a lane, pick a bomb site, commit 4 or 5 guys there right away, and hope for the best to try and avoid that op. And certainly, already we have a 5-man approach onto the bomb site. Gen.G is locking it down, though. 4, 5 kills immediately go the way of Gen.G. NRG gets shut down. Never mind. Forget what I was saying, Doug. Clearly, that was not the answer. But at least they didn't deal with Win's op. Am I right?
Yeah, I guess if there was a silver lining, it was that one, as Win was on the other side of the map. But Lex, yeah, I think you're right, though, right? Like, you've got to hit something. And oftentimes, as we see the meta evolve on this map, that's what you get, is you get a deep spike plant in, and then spam war your way through utilities. So C is often a common spot to hit. But it was that early paranoia from Guimon. Shanks dashed into it too. They were just sitting ducks. I think he hit all 5 of them. There just wasn't a whole lot that NRG could do there.
Right. It's this A push immediately. NRG, another 5-man press towards A this time. Said A and C, favorable bomb sites for these kind of 5-man executes, and certainly NRG trading out the first kills. You gotta get the spike plant out.
All right, and NRG are set up pretty here, right? Again, there's the spike is planted in a place where you can spam through it from A long. That's not where they're playing right now, but keep a close eye on the flank, right? EU's going to use that 103 to try to clear out some space, but the clock continues to tick away. Mikhail using that drone. The Blade Swim's going to be used as well. Win from the top rope. Oh, I think he saw a sliver, just the tiniest sliver. But Lex, they're going to have to go here. They're running out of time.
I don't know that this is even possible at this point. GMD actually, they have to go huge, and they do. They quite literally do, and I'm not sure if whether. Oh, Doug. We're talking like, yeah, okay, a little over half a second. Like, that was really close, but I don't know whether or not that was hesitation or maybe just unsure where the spike was. You have the feeling, at least just watching it from the observer's POV, like you might have been able to get that one. Regardless, that's 6 for NRG. They've hit that threshold of, hey, a solid attacking half on Haven.
Yeah, and you know, you wonder, I love how NRG played that, right? There was a heavy hit once again. We've oftentimes hear conversations about how this game is so heavily predicated upon confidence. And that, like, confidence is so key to success. So they confidently full send A. They managed to get control of the site. They managed to get control of this site and get the spike down. That was a big round win. But again, Gen.G with the op, a tale as old as time. Once again, getting the opening pick onto NRG.
I can't give Win enough credit. Like, he's doing his job, you know, exactly as we kind of teed it up, right? Where if you're able to kind of change your position, get these op picks, and certainly like give a different look every round, NRG has no choice but to burn a bunch of utility just to get, you know, out of spawn. And right now, Win is being pressured by, you know, a Sova dart for sure, but the play's going the other way entirely. It doesn't even matter. Sean finding 2 beautiful headshots on an infinite Niu. Shanks falls on the other side of the map, and now it's just Daps. 1v4. We've seen him clutch a few times today. Never quite to this degree with so much on the line. Sean finding his 3rd on the round. We have an even half here, Doug. It's 6 apiece. And, you know, you were talking about at the beginning of the half, and it really was the storyline throughout that game for me. Sorry, that half for me, where Win being a threat with the operator was paying off time and again for you know, Gen.G just to win those rounds. So hats off to him. Gen.G gets it done. 6 is all.
6 all indeed. Folks, we're going to cut to a very quick break. When we return, the second half of Haven. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and this time we're not going to get caught with our proverbial pants down. If there's a spicy pistol round like we saw at the first half of Blind, we're ready for it. We're ready for it. There are lots of frenzies. Lots and lots of frenzies, but no full send, at least this time. We can take a deep, collective breath as we realize...
excited.
They realize we're not going to miss anything this time around. Gen.G look good on the first half. So far, looking good in the second half as well. As they get the opener, it's going to get traded out, however, as they work their way at B. And Lex, I'm going to talk about this a lot. They were one of the pioneers, Gen.G was, of this play right here. It was when Sage was in the meta. It's a different flavor, but it's the same look. You get on B, you get the spike down, you get the heck out, but Infinite with a couple of clean shots with the classic trading things out. Gen.G just down to 2.
The basic feint, make presence towards short, draw the A rotator off. Gen.G does it beautifully, but unfortunately, you know, despite that outmaneuvering on behalf of Gen.G, unable to get it done is Michael at the end there, and NRG just hit their shots. Really, I mean, that was a clean retake, and it didn't even see like. Yeah, I hate to just discount everything I just said, but fact is, Gen.G played that really well to just get the spike down, as you were saying. It's a tried and true strategy on this map, but if you're not hitting your shots, if you're not able to get into post plant or, you know, the clock starts ticking on the spike, suddenly NRG comes away with that round looking easy.
Right.
Honestly.
No fancy buy-up from Gen.G this time around, no force, as they're just going to bring in pistols. I may have seen, yeah, one frenzy in the hands of Win. Good curveball there. The frenzy has been eliminated by frenzy on the other side as Song gets that opening pick. NRG looking good here in the second round.
Spike plant would be extremely beneficial to the side of Gen.G. Any more frags would be great. There's only going to be one. Yeah, just one. Yeah. Shock Dart finds its mark, but otherwise it's a clean anti-eco from NRG. Not a whole lot to dissect here, but I'll tell you what. NRG, you know, during the halftime break, I think you may have said it, I may have said it, I don't know, but
one of us said it.
Gen.G certainly looks like they are poised to potentially take this series now, and so NRG coming away with pistol, clean second round play, and they're gonna have their econ with no deaths in the prior, sorry, only one death in the prior round. Suddenly this, okay, we're seeing a Phantom, but a bonus round coming out from NRG. It's a wise choice, I'm sure. Yeah, he's just gonna opt to pick up a Frenzy, Phantom on Som, keep their economy in a good place, and hopefully, you know, cash in on a bonus round here. But the side of Gen.G, in contrast, see what they can do here on the attack side, because first gun round coming in hot, and already NRG is pushing up with these SMGs up and long, and they find the first one on the window.
Yep. Once again, I know we've talked about it a few times, but you got to keep that in mind. And in eco, you want to play up close, you want to play around smokes, and it often pays off. That's exactly what we saw. But again, Gen.G, this time not fully sending the spike that way as well, but they do have presence around B, It looks like they're just kind of waiting things out. I love the use of the drone here. Create some space, get some information around Garage. We'll see how NRG responds to that.
Yeah, just feeling the map out. The lurk here at front B is always a fruitful endeavor if patience and time are given enough. You know, and right there, I didn't expect somebody to walk out of the front of this site, but Sean, who is just so deadly, map to map, he's one of the most consistent duelists in my eyes in the game, and here he is delivering again with two. Well, I'd say the first one was a pretty easy headshot. The second one, a confident fight, finds his third, and he's done nothing but stand here at the front of the B site. And now Gen.G gets a free spike plant over at A. Actually, and as I say that, Sam is creeping in, and he is, I won't call him a minor threat. He's got a Phantom in hand.
Well, that threat certainly just took a serious punch. Sean already has 4. He's looking for the ace. EU with the frenzy spoils the dream, spoils the frags, and takes care of him. But again, NRG they're still in trouble here. EU has the Vandal, and he's healthy here. If he can isolate these gunfights, Lex, he may have something. But I just don't know that there's enough time. Yeah, he's going to start pulling off. He was outnumbered. Yeah. Maybe get an exit along the way, but this round has been lost for NRG.
For sure. And I think, you know, if you're EU, this is the wise choice. Not only was this your bonus where you went into the round with a frenzy, you're getting away with a Vandal, right? Like, you want to live. And if this wasn't their round to win, ultimately. NRG, you know, you hope for the best. You use a bonus round in that capacity where you want to almost, I don't want to call it greed. It's the smart play. But certainly it's a hope, you know, that you're, whatever, they walked out of front B right there, like Dap's trying to get a little greedy, like, hey, they don't seem to be in mid. Let me just walk down here, feel it out. And now Gen.G claiming their first in the half. And, you know, GMD having a little bit of a rough go, but ultimately Sean is really delivering on the Phoenix. Picked up 4 in the last round, almost got the ace. I think Gen.G is still in a good position here, Doug.
NRG does have that run it back. Doesn't look like there's any early aggressive look as they try to create some space. We'll see if Shanks can get anything going with ops. Spotted just a hair of that Cypher. The shot's not going to land. There was some information gathered, but not much else.
Yeah, just slowly feeling out the default, trying to sense aggression. And something that NRG struggled with on their attack half was being able to default successfully while avoiding operator picks. Right. And, you know, they're being very cautious, trying to feel out the map, find where the defense is going to be putting their walls up, and Sean, who's already through A link, and finds a beautiful crisp headshot onto Daps. Wow, there's the opening, Doug. There it is right there.
They use the run it back, and they use the Hunter's Fury to, and really in that instance, NRG has no choice but to respect it. They back up, and now they're going to try to fight back. Sam's going to use his own run it back, but he gets caught as soon as he swings around the corner. Gen.G have managed to establish control of the site here. NRG fighting to take back. The nice thing for them is that they have resources on opposite sides. They can push in from A-Link, and they can push in from C-Link. Sam's already able to get one. Shanks with the op. Looking to see if he can pick anyone off. That window, that B window spot can be so devastating if held well. But that's the thing. Infinite's going to get it to half, and then they swing. He has to back off. But NRG still had a chance here again. It's the Spam Wars. NRG's just down to 1. Infinite with 22 health left. He's just such a brutal spot. Gen.G take the round.
That human flashbang from Jet. When Ash is in there and it's like, I'll distract him, everybody peek. You know,
Surprise!
like that looks ridiculous. Okay, it looks absolutely absurd from our POV, but man, like the confidence that your teammates are going to clear that up, you love to see it.
Yeah.
And you pointed this out so smartly, and it's something I didn't even catch when it was happening because I was so into Sean's play. But comboing, you know, the Hunter's Fury with the run it back at B. Okay, right? Like you drone into the front of the site, you make sure nobody's there. It's safe for Sean to ult. You know, this is going to be a clean push into B for them. And certainly as soon as you pop your ults, like, Daps has no choice but to be B-hopping over an A-Link trying to avoid it. And certainly well, we know how it ended. But Sean with a very confident attack side so far. This is making me not necessarily worried for the entire side of NRG, but Gen.G is just coming up with answer after answer. And certainly right here, that A aggression is just shut down. NG coming out clean, 5-on-2 now.
Yeah, and I love how NRG played it. Again, understanding they didn't have the gun advantage. They tried to throw something different, a little spice, right, to try to catch them off guard. But Gen.G, excuse me, NG, what am I saying? They handled it super well, and they're able to pick NRG apart. They almost expected that aggression out of it.
It's one of those things where I don't know if this necessarily has to do with Shanks himself as a Jet, but not having an operator this deep in the half. I mean, we saw the impact that it had for Gen.G when Win was able to keep it, and round after round was basically this perpetual threat. But for the side of Gen.G, when you're running your own attack side, Jet op, you're able to take these kind of long range engagements. He's over here at Long C right away, taking this peek, and you get indirect map control, and a beautiful pick onto Infinite as I say that. Okay, and this threat is suddenly turned on its head where peeking for information on the side of NRG, as was just demonstrated to us, Doug, is so dangerous. It's so risky, and you don't have those tools that you would hope for, on the side of NRG on defense. But nevertheless, 5-on-4, here it is.
And they're just doing it dry, and Win, with how he's been feeling himself, like he's going to punish that, and we saw that. They are now, I love what we're seeing here because, again, Win's just anchoring C long, but the spike still hasn't fully committed. Sam has a chance at something here. That's a big kill. They've gotten the spike down. They know exactly where to go. He's going to swing, but Gen.G responds as he gets one. EU trades it back out, back and forth as these two teams continue to trade blows. The spike is still down back in the spawn, and NRG smells blood in the water. They've already got two members pushed all the way up, but Gen.G has a couple of their own waiting on the other side. Win just does not miss with that op as he gets onto Shanks. NRG down to two members left. The aggression that was there has kind of hit a bump in the road, right? And they can't really find the way in. Of course, as I say that, EU gets one. Kusta trades it out. Last one left is Daps, and he's in a different time zone right now from where the rest of the play is. Now Gen.G are going to work their way up onto B. He's got to get the spike down so Daps has a chance. Daps gets one, drops things down to 1v1. The spike's going to go down. He's got that paranoid. The swing, it was there, it connected, but the Blade Storm was there. The Blade Storm slices and dices. Win gets the clutch. A 3K. It's the op. It's the Blade Storm. It doesn't matter. The result's the same.
Win is having quite a game, and between him, Sean, the whole team really is contributing now. GMD seems to have woken up a bit, although in that last round he had a very awkward moment with EU over at Garage Doors. But this is when you have this level of confidence in one of your players, like Win, just being able to take these engagements, confidently knowing, okay, there's not an operator on the other side, and I'm gonna hit my shot, right? And I touched on this already, but it's so deadly. It gets really frustrating for the other team. In this case, it's NRG on defense, but you feel like you're being slowly constricted into a certain play style, but right away some aggression again coming out from NRG, and Sam actually yields a frag with it. Yeah,
this is far more fruitful than what we saw last time they tried this. They full send it A, and they got caught. This time, NRG's able to get the opening pick, which is huge. Kusta trades it out, but this is already some space that NRG have created. A, unless it's through B, is not an option for Gen.G.
Ooh. Kusta finding 2 kills in this round so far. And the neural theft combined with the misdirection that they've already shown. Look at Gen.G right now. Kusta may have fallen, but he had a 3-on-3 and the C side is for free. So even though the neural theft yielded 2 different players from NRG over at the C side, they're like, okay, guys, we're just going to walk it up. They'll rotate, right? And because in the mind of the defense, you don't want to be where you're actually revealed at, and suddenly you've given a lot of position to Gen.G, and Win finds the first, but Infinite trades it out already, Doug.
But they're coming in from different sides. It's beautiful from NRG. Shanks gets 2 on the flank. Infinite was a hero that round with the Stinger. He got high impact kills. That was so well played from NRG. They're not going away, Lex.
Sean was ready to rip it. He's like, all right, guys, I'm popping my ult. Like, let's go. Let's do it. And Shanks just says, no, you may not. And that is one of those things where, like, you talk about, confidence and finding a foothold, momentum, whatever. We've highlighted all that stuff throughout, the series. But a big flank coming out from Shanks, gets an operator, a gift basically from the other team. You have everything suddenly is going right, and you look at the scoreline, despite the fact that you've slid 4 rounds straight and you're kind of feeling bad about it. Or maybe you're feeling like maybe you're running out of answers, and certainly we've painted, or I've painted that narrative for you at least. But for Gen.G, that's a pretty big boon coming out, or for NRG, that's a pretty big boon for, you know, defending. Suddenly you have a jet opper that has a free $5,000 weapon, and you know now Gen.G back on the flip, back to where almost like a same look as Pistol. They make short A presence to draw off an A rotator and are poised to go towards B perhaps.
They've established some B control, some A short control. Top still there. We saw Sean last time proving that patience is indeed a virtue in this exact same spot. Nothing doing quite yet. Shanks also with that free op that was gifted to him. You know, again, confidence is so key. He can really get something going here, just a pick, 2 picks away from really feeling himself. We'll see if he's able to convert that. Yeah, that my gosh, that's a huge kill.
Yeah, NRG has adapted. I mean, I mentioned this is what they did on Pistol, right? They've adapted quite well. I mean, the Cypher over at C isn't new, but they're balancing it now to where there's 2 players basically firm defending B, Infinite hanging around Garage Window and C-Link. And what that means is these A players get to stay on these angles and stay on the site, and the B players get to do the same. And right now, this execute is going into 3 members of NRG at least. At the bare minimum, you got to hit these gunfights immediately and win them. And GMD does find 2, but he's now in a 1-on-2 of his own for the 4K to win. And 10 seconds left, Doug. Not sure who's going to get the ability to spike down in time, and from the shadows gets shut down by Daps. And I didn't catch those kills coming out from him, but that was a huge round for NRG to kind of dominate this half again. 10-10, all tied up.
Yeah, baby, we're knotted up. That's what I'm talking about. Like, this is peak VALORANT. This is why this game's so fun to watch, because you get stuff like that. And Lex, you painted the picture beautifully. NRG took away what Gen.G had to work with. They forced them into A, where they had a couple of members already holding those angles, and at that point, it was open season. For Gen.G, yeah, they got real close. It got down to a really favorable situation, but NRG, they just... It seems like every time Gen.G is prepared to put the finishing touches on them, to put them away, NRG just digs a little bit deeper. They pull some other miracle out of their hat, or they read Gen.G like a book, and they keep things close. This has been wonderful from NRG.
Yeah, and as I in the last round, I'm like, NRG's having solid reads, and they've balanced the map so that they can lean towards A and B, kind of give up C, and so Gen.G immediately keying in on that. Right, we see, you know, behind the spawn walls now. Effectively, it looks, to me at least, like a C-split could be coming out in the next round. And so the question will be, it looks like NRG's Sam. Yeah, that's the Phoenix over there in the garage window, so that'd be Sam. Will be the first to kind of make contact with this play, and it'll be up to him to determine whether or not this is a winnable round for NRG. Does he try and hold it steady? Try and go for any fights early? Does he get the info at all? And he is reinforced over here by Daps, so it's not as though he's alone anymore, but certainly looked like it could have been. But Gen.G coming at the C split, already up on the site, and Gen.G will get in there pretty clean because NRG's playing a retake now.
Right, and it's a slightly different flavor of what we saw, and it's not like Gen.G tried going elsewhere and realized they couldn't, but they had everything set up to where B and A were not an option. They wanted them to go C for that 5v5 retake. Infinite gets a big one. He's going to use that neural theft as well to give everything away. Gen.G does not have any ultimates that can cause problems like the Orbital Strike or the Hunter's Fury from downtown. NRG looking really good on this retake here, but they've got to execute. Shanks once again on the flank with the shorty. He gets one. He's got that operator as well. Win, however. Win, baby! He gets another one. Sean with the Sheriff. NRG looked so good, but Gen.G take the lead yet again.
A broken buy from Gen.G yields great success. They capture the operator. They live with, I think, 3 or 4 players, right? It was not as though that was a deadly retake from NRG. We did see the Chare coming out from Shanks, which is always fun. But he's been essentially nullified throughout this half as well. And he loses that operator that, you know, we waited so long for it to finally come out. You get one round with it. I think he had like a leg shot on someone in that round, and then you lose it immediately afterwards. That's tough. And we're talking about momentum going back and forth. You know, the reads are kind of, you can kind of sense some subtle misdirection being thrown out there. And how many times is Win going to find a long C pick? That, I don't know how good Daps's Jiggle Peek was, but it frankly wasn't good enough. And I wonder whether or not, like, when they're all in their VOD review looking back at this map, whether or not those deaths are going to come back to cause some nightmares, because that is, frankly, I won't beat up on them, but that's an unacceptable kill right there. Yeah. Like we've seen, I think that's 2 or 3, like just dry peaks, raw peaks from Win that are yielding frags that otherwise don't need to be given away. And when we're talking about Cypher being put over at C, using his cam to kind of take that peak for them, you know, once you change up your setup in this way, Daps definitely feels the pressure to like, it's almost like an itch, Doug, where like,
I gotta look.
Like you want to peek for the info. Like I just need to know if they're there.
Yep.
And unfortunately, you know, Gen.G is now a 5-on-4 with an A hit coming in hot.
Yeah, but NRG should have a lot of info here. They know, because of that drone, they know that B isn't where the play is, and you already see all the members funnel over towards A, which is exactly where Gen.G is. And again, with 20 seconds left, they don't have much of a choice. They're going to have to commit to this one. Guimon gets one. He gets a second one as well. There's the Hunter's Fury coming out of Mikaels as they're trying to clear things out. But Win gets in on the action as well, once again, with the Operator. NRG's just down to EU. He's got a measly 7 health to work with, and he's got a gun, so he's going to hightail it the heck out of Dodge, try to bring that bad boy into the next round. Things went sideways for NRG very quickly there.
My ult's not ready.
Indeed. And NRG looking as though they may be on their last legs of this half. You know, saving this Phantom will be a benefit for sure in the coming round. But the question of whether or not they're going to have all the pieces in place to somehow scramble together a defense that's successful, where Gen.G's had so much success in this half. And, you know, I feel like, once again, we're looking at NRG where a lot of the weapons that they should be bringing to the table in every matchup are being nullified or shut down. And, you know, I mentioned Shanks' op not really being a factor in this game. That is continuing to be the case. You know, I think Infinite's having a pretty solid side on defense here, but, you know, overall, it seems as though NRG is struggling to find, you know, a consistent weaponry to make these comebacks, these momentum swings more beneficial for them.
Right.
And something that I did see in that last round, sorry to carry on so long, Doug, but
do it, man.
Man, I've seen both Sovas in this team at least twice each, I think. Maybe that was the first time from Michael. Maybe it was the second time. I'm sure Chad will correct me, but that short A ult into A link, I love the idea of it, but I have yet to see a single person even get tagged from that. And it breaks my heart, man. That's all. And immediately the long A aggression shut down. That's Shanks, who's just gotten destroyed on this so many times. Gen.G's keyed in on it. They know that he likes to do that. NRG gets punished immediately. 5-on-4 now. Gen.G on match point, essentially.
Yeah, it was interesting. Daps used that from the shadows. He got back towards C, that back corner, and then canceled it out. Could have had a chance to get behind it, but Sam with the Stinger, they were able to get one. They're going to use that, run it back. So he tries to get some more space, and you see members of Gen.G just having to back up. Nothing quite gathered yet, and he got some info, but that unfortunately was it. The spike hasn't made its way onto A yet either.
That was awkward. Canceled the reload animation, pulled the Stinger back out, realized there's no bullets. Sean finds one on Infinite, 4-on-3, and there's 2 wounded players from Gen.G. Still doable for NRG, Doug.
It is, and that's certainly, I mean, that's certainly going to help. Yeah, Sean drops. You see Win with not much health to work with either, but they're going to get onto the site. They're going to get onto C, and now it's on NRG. You don't want to go through the loser's bracket. You don't want to deal with that gauntlet. You've got to retake C here.
Unfortunately for the side of NRG, there's still not a lot of advantageous weaponry positioning. There's no flank coming in.
One enemy remaining.
This is looking all but wrapped for Gen.G at this point. You've got Michael and GMD
all Daps
playing this post plant pretty solid, and Daps, who's no stranger to the clutch and has come up big a few times today, he falls now 13-10. Gen.G taking the series in a decisive 2-0, Doug.
And they look good, right? Like, there were so many things that worked well for them. Lex, I asked you a very interesting question, and of course, because I was the one who asked it, I get to dabble in the fact that it was interesting. Self-proclaimed interesting, but I'm going to roll with it. Well, thanks, man. I asked you how many rounds NRG was going to have to win on the attacking side. What was going to feel good? What was going to feel respectable, knowing that Gen.G had the series lead, knowing that they were going to go into the second half on the attacking side, and the map lends itself towards attackers because of some of the dynamics we spoke about. It was 6-6, in my opinion, and we didn't get to finish the conversation. You've got to look for like an 8-4 there, right? A 6-6, honestly, I'd go so far as to say a 7-5 doesn't cut it. The deficit that the advantage that you've created is not substantial enough, right? You expect to catch everything that the attacking team's going to throw at you on the second half, and that's exactly what Gen.G did. It was just too much for NRG.
And, we started, I mean, we're looking at Bind right now. It was a 6-0 start for NRG, and I think it was a 4-0 start on Haven or some such. But nevertheless, opening these maps, they look extremely confident. Of course you do when you're winning Pistol, if you have the superior frenzies in this instance, right? Like this is a great starting point for a map. You're up 6-0. Doesn't look like Gen.G's hitting their mark, and certainly maybe a little out of sync at times. But honestly, and I hate to bring it back to this point so often, but it's so true, man. Win was a constant threat, at least on Haven for sure, a constant threat that it wasn't just like, oh, they had to burn utility to get him out of there. No, they weren't even doing that much. He was finding opening picks at 3 different locations. Top of long C, top of B site, and long A on defender side Haven, and then flip it to attack side, and he's finding them on attack as well. And unfortunately, if you're not, I don't want to say you're not used to playing up a jet operator at this level, of course you are.
Right.
Like, they know how to handle it. But on Haven, it's almost like a no-win scenario in so many of these situations where, damned if you do or don't, it's still going to be a situation where Win has the advantage. He still has the superior weaponry at range at an angle that you're not expecting. And he capitalized on it time and again, hitting his shots. Doug, I think you really spelled that factor out pretty darn well in the pregame. And certainly when we were going into Haven, we were talking about it. Win with the op was somebody who I think you thought didn't get a lot of credit or whatever. I'll let you speak to that, but fact is, he delivered here in a big way.
Yeah, he probably made up for, at least we made up for the love that he doesn't get. He's a bad man. Gen.G take a 2-0 series win over NRG. Folks, I have good news for you. We've got more. We've got another matchup just around the corner, so grab a snack, a beverage, refresh yourself, but come right back because we've got more coming at you. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the VALORANT Champions Tour Close Qualifiers.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice. And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless? On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
I feel like I need to defend my scene's honor here because this is just turning into a bit of a dog battle.
Like in groups always look.
I'm cutting you off here. I'm cutting you off. Cutting you off. He said G2's winning it. He said G2's winning it.
We need to wait till the next EU tournament, which could be in about 10 years now.
Take it with like a grain of salt.
No,
but
that's
that
no
being
fun.
said,
Take it super literally.
Spike defused.
Oh, baby. Contrast stitching. Curves that'll hug your body. Adjustable arms. Custom embroidery. Memory foam pillows. Changeable color inserts. Lay flat, recline. Removable logos. Soft, durable material. Yeah. You like what you see, baby? Zip jab.